and I didn't want to forget the Monday nugget. I was out in the orchard today, and I noticed that pink is starting to come on our pink ladies. And pink ladies are our most susceptible variety to fire blight. And fire blight's kind of a big deal around here. I don't know about the area you're from, but boy, here in Washington State, fire blight is the real deal. I've had fire blight so bad in the past that for months and months I've had, 25, 30, 40 people at a time cutting fire blight, putting it on trailers, hauling it out and burning it for months on end. It can absolutely destroy an orchard, and I've seen it destroy hundreds of acres, and with the potential to wipe out giant ranches. And so, I have a master's degree in fire blight control. Not really, but I should have. So I just wanted to today. My pro nugget, my golden nugget is to be proactive in your fire blight approach. It will save you a lot of money. It'll save you a lot of money, not only in chemicals in the long run, but in cost of removing the damaged trees out of the field, and then the cost to get those trees planted back into ground and grow them up. It's just a losing proposition. So the best thing you can do about fire blight is be proactive. I have a chemical plan in place that I've used for a long time. We start out way in the dormant season. When the buds first start to push, we get a copper on. That's real important. It kills all that overwintering bacteria, gets rid of it. There's a product called Actigard that I like to use. You can spray it on as a foliar, but you can also, a couple weeks before the bloom time, you can also put that on through the drip. There's a rate that you can do that, and that's really good at stimulating the tree and getting the immunity system built up, getting it prepared for if it were to have an incident. But if you were to have a bloom period like we have today, we're expecting rain on Wednesday, and I'm seeing flowers today. That tells me that's a dangerous scenario. Looking at the fire blight model, that's going to tell me what my risk factor is. But anytime it's the bloom period and I have rain coming, I'm just going to assume there's the potential for fire blight and big trouble ahead. So what I like to do is be proactive. That means I'm going to get my fire line on ahead of the fire blight incident, ahead of the rain. They always talk about there's a kickback period on those chemicals. It's a bunch of nonsense. You want to be on ahead of the fire blight. If you put it on after the incident, you're just throwing your money away because it absolutely doesn't work. I like to have Firewall on hand, an antibiotic. That's a really good product that you're going to have on for an emergency. If you happen to miss the window, if the rain sneaks up on you and you get rain on you, you want to use an antibiotic. You want to use your Firewall. That's your big gun. You only want to use that one time because it has a tendency to build up resistance. We don't have resistance here. We test for that, but it has the potential for resistance. So you want to be responsible in how you use that. And I try to only use Firewall once a year. Save it for the big gun application or the emergency. Continue to use the fire lines if you see rain incidents coming, but be proactive and do it ahead of time. There's another product called Cassumin. You probably heard of Cassumin. It's a great product. I try to save that for the petal fall. Be wary of the petal fall. A lot of people see that the flowers are gone, the flowers are dried up, and they let their guard down, and they don't put on that last fire blight spray. But I'll tell you right now, the bacterium is at its highest during the petal fall period, and the risk is at its highest. By then, the temperatures are coming up, and the models are usually off the charts. So do not ignore the petal fall period. Be proactive. If you have a rain incident coming, you get that Cassumin on. Get it on right away. And if you miss the rain, you want to do Cassumin and Firewall. You really want to throw the big gun at it. So that's kind of my program that I do. I don't make chemical recommendations on this channel, but those chemicals are out there. You can talk to your field man. That's the program that I use. Again, the Monday Golden Nugget. Be proactive in your fire blight control and have a plan. Follow the model. If you're in the bloom period, just as we went into the bloom period today, just assume that you're in a fire blight risk situation and treat accordingly and spray before it rains. Culturally speaking, just a few things real culturally that I want to talk about is, and I've made this mistake before, I'm speaking from experience, do not go out and train trees during a fire blight period. I've done this before thinking I was going to be fine. The rain comes down and you'll get fire blight in those trees every time. Rule number 2, on all non-bearing trees, if I'm in a high-risk situation for fire blight, pull the flowers off the trees. In year 1 and year 2, just pull the flowers off of the trees. I've had blocks before where we were pulling the flowers off the small trees, half of a 10-acre block, where we got the flowers pulled off, and then the rain came and we didn't get the flowers pulled off the second half of the block. The second half of the block was just devastated with fire blight, and there was zero fire blight on the side where we pulled the flowers off. So pull the flowers off your non-bearing trees during the bloom period. That's very, very important. don't run your irrigation. You should have already had your irrigation on by now. Don't run your irrigation through the flowering period during the fire blight period. If you have to irrigate, or if you have to do frost control, it could be that you have to do frost control, and that's okay. But try not to irrigate during the bloom period, and if you have to, use your drip line. That's your best option. You want to keep the water off during the bloom time. If you get fire blight, cut it, and cut hard. I'll do a video on this later. We'll talk about where to cut fire blight. If you think you want to cut fire blight a foot down, cut 3 foot down. But we'll talk about intersections and how fire blight moves and how it gets stopped. And we'll talk about that later in a later video. But fire blight season is upon us as of today here in Washington State. Expected a rain Wednesday. That's a big red alert for us. So my pro tip, golden nugget of the day is be proactive in your fire blight control. I'm Rob the Tree Fruit Guy. Have a good night.